Let us pray. O God, we seek your wisdom and understanding as we reflect on your word. Open our hearts and minds and allow us to gain new perspectives. This we pray in the name of Jesus, your Son, our Lord. Amen. I love our passage this morning. I have preached on this beautiful story several times in the past. But every time I revisit and read this passage, I gain new insights and perspectives. Truly, Bible is the Word of God, and it's alive. It's a living Word. As the story goes, I think needless to relate because the video tell us, but I will have to still dare to recount the story. Jesus just dismissed the crowd and he let his disciples go ahead and cross the lake. This is the Sea of Galilee. And he left them all by themselves. Evening came and the wind blowing against them became stronger and stronger, and they began to fear for their lives. Between the hours of 3 to 6 a.m., that's the fourth watch in the biblical terms, when everything was pitch black, the disciples struggled to navigate, and in panic, they saw what appeared to be a ghost. They were terrified. But it was Jesus. He said to them, "Ta-da, it's me." No, that's not. Take courage. That was what Jesus said. It's me. Don't be afraid. Peter cried out, but still in doubt, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus responded, "Come, join me here." But as the fierce wind continued to blow and the waves grew even bigger, Peter was petrified. Well, being petrified and Peter being terrified, that doesn't sound very far. And you probably have to dig into the etymology of the word terrified, petrified, and what that word relates to Peter. I will not delve into that at this time, but it's worth trying, the relationship between the word Peter and petrified. Overwhelmed by fear, he began to sink. Cried out to Jesus, "Lord, save me." And Jesus grabbed Peter's hand and saved him. Then Jesus said to Peter, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Let's take note that the Gospel of Matthew was written about 85 CE, or 85 in the Common Era, more than 50 years after Jesus' ministry. Let's put ourselves on the shoes of the early Christians, just a little bit, around Jerusalem and even as far as the Christian churches in Asia Minor. The church in Rome in particular was going through persecution under Emperor Nero. And mind you, persecution at that time is a matter of life and death. When you talk about persecution, in our present time, we can never compare it to their time. Reading this passage would have been a great source of comfort for them. This story would remind them of these things. One, that without Christ, the church is in danger of being overwhelmed by the challenges the church is going through. Second, that those times of fear and deepest need, Christ is ready to rescue. And third, that Christ's presence is real, and in his presence, there is peace, comfort, calmness, courage, and strength to carry on. Will these be messages for us as well? I believe so. I believe so. We, the Christians and the church in the 21st century, should be listening to these powerful reminders. Without doubt, in our personal life and communal life as a church, there are times when we are so shaken by fear, with the uncertainties we face. There are times when we are terrified of what the future will bring. We just went through that pandemic, right? There are those moments when we doubt whether we can make it through tough times. There are times when we are unsure if God is available to rescue us from drowning in the sea of life. There are times when we cry out to God in anguish, how long will this sorrow and this grief be over? There are those instances when we are so overwhelmed because we are not physically, mentally, or emotionally, even relationally well. Even those moments when we are haunted by self-doubts or that feeling of not being enough. Remember those moments? May this passage comfort us and give us a fresh look at our faith and embrace Jesus once again as the ultimate source of comfort, peace, and composure. Amen. I would like to reflect more about what Jesus said to Peter in verse 31. You of little faith, why do you doubt? Depending on how you will say it, this statement can be a rebuke or a gentle reminder. Have you noticed that? Maybe not. You of little faith, why did you doubt? That definitely sounds like a rebuke. But how about this? Oh, you of little faith, why do you doubt? That sounds like a gentle reminder. You decide whether it is a rebuke or a reminder. But the message doesn't change. The message doesn't change. With Christ in my vessel, I can smile at the storm, smile at the storm, smile at the storm. Remember that gospel song? Children's song? You don't know that? Let me sing it so you can. With Christ in my vessel, I can smile at the storm, smile at the storm, smile at the storm. With Christ in my vessel, I can smile at the storm until He guides me home. Sailing, I am sailing home. Sailing, I am sailing home. With Christ in my vessel, I can smile at the storm until He guides me home. That's the message. Christ is there. Christ is there. It doesn't matter whether it is a rebuke or a gentle reminder. Christ is with us in whatever storm we go through. The message remains the same. That with Christ beside us, Christ with us, and Christ for us, we can safely navigate in the treacherous storms of life. I would like to speak more about what Jesus said to Peter in verse 29. Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid. Reflecting on these words, what came to my mind was the word dare. D-A-R-E. To dare is not just to take courage. There is that element of risk associated with the word dare. This is true when we dare to try new things or explore new ways of doing things. We hope for the best, but we also risk failure. But that's the picture of life. That's not something new, right? We hope for the best, but we risk failure. But if we don't dare, we will never find out whether we win or lose, right? What if we win? I'm not talking about the lotto or whatever, What if we win? Well, one good thing with Peter, he dared. He dared. And when he did, he found out that the waves and the winds were just too strong for him to handle. But the good news is, Jesus was just an arm's length away from him. Jesus was available for him. Jesus was ready to pull him up. Jesus was there to save him from drowning. What a beautiful story. When I was a little boy, maybe about 7 years old, I almost drowned. My friend and I were swimming in a river. He was a better swimmer than I do. Crossing that river I was aware of my inadequate swimming skills. But I dared to swim anyway. Little kids, sometimes they don't have that sense of danger. You know that as parents, right? The reality was I underestimated the river's current and found myself unable to reach the riverbank as quickly as I thought. The longer I swam, the more exhausted I became. I already swallowed some water. Extremely tired as I was, I could barely put my head above water. This is the literal thing. I could barely put my head above water. This is now becoming an expression when you are in the financial something. I couldn't put my head above water. You're underwater financially, so this expression has become like that. But this is literal drowning. Could it almost, But I continued on swimming inch by inch despite exhaustion until I finally reached the other side. Oh, that was awful. I couldn't imagine how I made it. Unlike Peter's story, Jesus was not there physically for me to rescue me. But I managed to reach the riverbank inch by inch. Peter didn't. Not exactly, as what I went through. But both of us dared. That's the point. Both of us dared. And that's the message and the challenge for all of us today. Let us simply take courage, take the risk and dare, because we know that God is always with us, regardless of the outcome, regardless of what we're going through, or even if we lose. Well, some people would say, Peter, lost in the sea of doubt. No. Peter dared. And if that's the only thing that I can say to all of you today, then let it be. just dare. Just take courage. Take the risk. Explore new things. Because God, in all this seeking, is always with us. Amen.